Phillis Wheatley was African-born. She was torn from her family and from her culture. She was to be trained as a domestic. The Wheatley family that enslaved her in Boston, Massachusetts, taught her the classics, taught her Latin and Greek, taught her Bible studies. Now, she's writing poetry in a very traditional European, very traditional English style. But reading it, you can also see the satire in there, and that she is making knocks against the system of enslavement, against the religion of the enslavers, resisting that culture at the same time. She knows that her enslavers, the Wheatley family, were certainly feeling the patriotic cause for more freedoms and liberty against the Crown and Parliament. And they thought that the Earl of Dartmouth would have been sympathetic to this as well. Phillis Wheatley writes this letter in the form of a poem where she is asking the Earl of Dartmouth for more freedoms and liberty in the American colonies. She also writes about her time in Africa as a child and her capture and her loss of freedoms and liberty as she was brought to Boston as an enslaved child. And so she's making some parallels here about slavery and freedom on a personal level and sort of the freedom and liberty on an American level at this time just before the American Revolution.
Should you, my lord, while you peruse my song, wonder from whence my love of freedom sprung, whence flow these wishes for the common good, by feeling hearts alone best understood, I, young in life, by seeming cruel fate, was snatched from Afric's fancied happy seat. What pangs excruciating must molest, what sorrows labor in my parents' breast? Steeled was that soul, and by no misery moved, that from a father seized his babe beloved. Such my case. And can I then but pray others may never feel tyrannic sway?
And can I then but pray others may never feel tyrannic sway? That's the power of what a poet can do in asking for the freedom of others or for America. She shines a huge spot on her own plight and our plight, and through allying herself with them, puts us all on the same level. It's quite brilliant.
She remained enslaved by the Wheatleys somewhere until 1774 or 75. And Phillis remains a poet, tries to be published, but her poems are not being purchased. She reverts back to working, hiring herself out as domestic labor for various Boston families. She marries a free black man named John Peters. They have 3 children, and each of them die in infancy. Phillis Wheatley dies in 1784 at the age of 31 years old. She's penniless. It's a tragic ending to a story for a woman that had so much promise.
Phillis Wheatley is the ancestor that we can attribute that legacy of letters and learning and writing, and sort of shine a light on things that go by in the dark.